The MVP race is one of the most talked about awards in the NBA every season. An award that has been mostly guard dominant in the past decades, this year's top 3 finishers completely flipped the script with 2 centers and a power forward. However, what if I told you the MVP of the NBA never touched a basketball until he was 15 years old? You'd think I'm crazy, right? But Joel Embiid would beg to differ. Today, we are going to dive into Joel Embiid's journey to becoming the NBA's most valuable player. From his humble beginning in Cameroon to becoming one of the best players in the league, Joel's unbelievable journey to NBA stardom was not a smooth one, facing plenty of obstacles along the way. You'll want to stay until the end to see the side of Embiid's life that no one really talks about. Plus, after taking home the MVP award, Joel is the second player from Africa to win the award. Do you know who the first player was? Stay tuned and we will announce them at the end of the video. Now, as the reigning MVP, Joel is considered one of the best in the league. But how did a kid from Africa who never even played the sport until he was 15 become one of the top players at the highest level possible? Joel Hans Embiid was born in Yaoundé, Cameroon on March 16, 1994. He was the oldest of 3 children, born to Thomas and Christine Embiid. Although his parents were never basketball players, they were still very athletic, with his dad being a professional handball player. Growing up in Cameroon, he did very well in school and was very athletic as a child, playing both soccer and volleyball. He never played organized basketball until the summer of July 2011, when he attended a basketball camp hosted by the Cameroon native Luc Richard Mbah-a-Moute, a former UCLA basketball star and NBA player. Having rarely watched basketball on television, many recall him being very awkward at first, struggling to even dribble or shoot. However, those things didn't worry Mbah-a-Moute when he watched Embiid, towering at 6'9". The 15-year-old displayed promising potential with the footwork and conditioning he developed with volleyball and soccer. At the end of the camp, Mbah-a-Moute announced Embiid to be one of the top 5 performers in the camp, even though he never played before. He was given an invitation to attend a more competitive camp in South Africa the next month, where he continued to show off his raw talent and potential. Mbah-a-Moute became a mentor for him in the world of basketball, which led to Embiid getting the chance to move to the US to pursue a career professionally. While his father was hesitant at first, he eventually let Joel move from Cameroon to attend Montverde Academy in Florida. When he arrived at Montverde, Embiid barely knew any English and had a hard time adjusting to life in America. Luckily, some of his teammates were also from Cameroon and helped Embiid communicate with the coaches until he learned how to speak English. He admitted academics were actually easier at Montverde than back in Africa, but basketball was a completely different story. Montverde is known as one of the top prep schools in the nation, with the most national championships of any high school basketball program in the past decade and over 30 of its players playing professionally. Many of the players recalled how clumsy and awkward he was on the court at first, and he started on the JV squad his first year. Although Joel's teammates were light years ahead of him in terms of basketball experience, Joel worked harder than anyone else at the school, either at the gym working on his game or in his dorm watching film of Hakeem Olajuwon, his basketball idol. Constantly playing against All-American talent, Joel improved drastically that year and earned a spot on the varsity squad. He transferred to the Rock with the hope of getting more playing time as a senior. Coaches were shocked at how much Joel improved since arriving in America and gained attention from D1 schools across the nation, with the Texas Longhorns, Florida Gators, and Kansas Jayhawks leading the pursuit to get him as their next center. He eventually chose Kansas, mainly because various NBA players told his mentor Mbah-a-Moute that Kansas would be best at preparing him for the NBA. Growing to 7 feet tall and weighing 250 pounds, Joel Embiid made massive leaps during his freshman season at Kansas. Although he started the season coming off the bench, he ended up starting 20 of the 28 games he played. He averaged 11.2 points and 8.1 rebounds and was named 2014 Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. His shot-blocking abilities were on full display, breaking the Kansas record for most block shots in a game with 8 as a freshman, and the most blocks in a single freshman season with 72. He also had the highest field goal percentage ever in a freshman season at Kansas, shooting 62.6%, and set the freshman record for most rebounds per game with 8.1 boards. Unfortunately, he got a stress fracture in his back that sidelined him for the last 6 games of the season, including the Big 12 Championship and NCAA Tournament. However, even with the injury, NBA experts expected him to be drafted top 5 alongside his Jayhawk teammate Andrew Wiggins. After going one and done in Kansas, he entered the 2014 NBA draft. Leading up to the draft, he suffered a stress fracture in his right foot and had to get surgery, immediately causing him to miss workouts with NBA teams and even draft night. Many worried about how this would affect Embiid's draft stock and future NBA career. Yet, it didn't have much effect, as Joel Embiid was selected 3rd overall in the first round by the Philadelphia 76ers. However, Joel never stepped foot on the NBA court for 2 years after undergoing 2 surgeries. Fans and the team began to worry if he would ever be able to play. It was during this time of adversity that Joel coined the mantra, "Trust the process," referring to his journey back to the court. Finally, during the 2016-2017 season, Joel Embiid made his much-anticipated NBA debut and finished the season averaging 20.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks per game, earning him NBA All-Rookie First-Team honors. Though he had an impressive rookie season, the 76ers had been struggling as a team, constantly finishing at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. However, during his second season, everything changed for the organization. Joel Embiid quickly became a fan favorite, leading the 76ers to a 3rd-place finish in the Eastern Conference and a playoff berth. His "Trust the Process" mantra was adopted by the entire fan base, as the 76ers over the years came from one of the league's worst to one of the best with the help of Embiid. He finished the 2017-2018 season averaging 22.9 points, 11 rebounds, and 1.8 blocks per game, and was named NBA All-Star for the first time. From that season on, he continued to improve every part of his game and has been named an NBA All-Star every season since. He continued to lead his team to the playoffs each year and has become the face of the franchise. He was awarded All-NBA Second Team 4 seasons in a row, starting with his breakout season in 2017-2018, and made All-NBA First Team this past season for the first time. Although he came into the league known primarily for his athleticism and defensive shot-blocking abilities, his offensive skills have improved drastically, and he has become a serious offensive threat, earning the scoring title back-to-back in 2022 and 2023. The 2022-2023 season was Joel's best season yet. After finishing 2nd place in the MVP race for the past 2 years, he finally won the NBA's Most Valuable Player award this season, averaging 33.1 points, 10.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and 1.7 blocks. An award primarily given to guards, Joel is just the 2nd center, along with Nikola Jokic, to win this achievement since Tim Duncan back in 2003. His improved jumper was on full display, shooting a career-high 54% from the field, and he led the Sixers to their best regular season finish in over 20 seasons with a 54-28 record, becoming the 7th MVP in Sixers franchise history. With Joel now being the 2nd African-born player to win the award, do you know who the first was? Yep, you guessed it, none other than Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon from Nigeria. Joel's basketball idol. Looking back at Joel Embiid's journey from his early childhood in Cameroon to becoming the NBA's most valuable player, it is a true testament to his hard work and dedication and trusting the process. With the 76ers' recent loss in the Eastern Conference semifinals, trade rumors are beginning to circulate, and many speculate if Joel Embiid is going to stay with the 76ers. If he is able to stay healthy in the upcoming seasons, there's no limit to what Joel can achieve in his career. At the age of 29, he has already established himself as one of the league's top players. Regardless of what team he plays for next season, he will have an immediate impact on their success. There's no doubt if he continues to dominate the league that he will finish with a Hall of Fame career. As his NBA career continues, Joel Embiid continues to defy the odds and prove nothing is impossible if you work hard and don't give up.